how do we accept uncertainty when we're feeling uncertainty? Can we accept it?
Well, the first step there is to identify what we're not accepting, what we're opposing, or what we're resisting. And sometimes that's really difficult because we're just in a swirl of fear and anxiety and uncertainty. But it's about stopping and thinking, hold on, what's not working for me? What can I control? And what's out of my control? And often just that question can help us enormously open out a different space of what we call possibility in that moment.
So what you're saying is stop, ask myself, what can I control in this moment and what can I not predict and control? And really discern between those two buckets. And then do we focus on what we can't control or do we focus on what we need to control?
Well, a focus on what we need to control and what is in our sphere of influence. But that often requires us to be in our body to do that, just to stop and slow down for a moment. And you know, those body practices of just connecting with ourselves, our breathing, and just create that little bit of space to ask ourselves that question. What can I control in this moment? What can I not?
And when we identify the things that are within our sphere of influence, what do we do with those? What happens then? So we go, okay, well, what are some of the things we can influence at this time?
Well, it's often when we stop scenario planning, stop the worry, often we know exactly what to do because we've produced a different mood for ourselves. We've got ourselves out of the beat of always reacting. So, it's possible that you can take action on what you're concerned about. Open out a different kind of conversation with your family members or your team, whatever that is. But it will certainly open you out to new possibility.
So certain things like I can control what I'm eating, which influences my well-being. I can control who I'm talking to each and every day in the main. We may have to talk to work colleagues, but generally speaking, we can control who we're in conversations with. I can control my exercise. Now, even if we're indoors at the moment, we can do things like yoga and there's heaps of online tutorials. We could control something like that. We could control some space that we allow ourselves for little treats through the day, like a hot bath or putting some hot oil through our hair. That's for the girls out there. So we could probably make ourselves feel differently just by focusing on those things. Is that what you're saying, rather than the stuff that we can't control?
Well, it's interesting because in fear and anxiety, we focus more on what we can't control. So that's using up so much of our energy, our emotional energy, as well as our intellectual energy. So when we make the decision to stop trying to control what we can't control and work with what we can have an influence over, our world changes.
I feel better already.
So do I. It's a great conversation, Paula.